Flint, Michigan pays every pregnant woman $1,500 when expecting and $500 per month for the first year of the infant's life. So kids aren't born into poverty. On a side here, I'm going to go ahead and read this a little bit because there's more information about this. RX Kids, created by researchers at Michigan State University and the University of Michigan, gives all pregnant women $1,500 during pregnancy and $500 monthly for their baby's first year. The first community-wide unconditional cash program in the U.S. We're going to get into this. We're going to break this down. Next, it says, for mothers like preschool teachers, Angela, who had a baby in 2024, the funds covered essentials like a crib, diapers, and allowed her to take 14 weeks off of work. It took so much stress away, she said. So this is basically given a review, and this is women giving feedback. Like, you think you're going to have bad reviews? You think girls go, no, I don't want the $1,500. I don't want $500 a month. Yeah, these chicks are going to do that. Now, it says early results are striking. Postpartum depression dropped 14%. No low-income families faced eviction. Prematurity and low birth weight decline, saving Flint up to $6.2 million annually in NICU costs. Unlike targeted aid, RX Kids, I guess that's the name of the organization that's doing the funding, is called RX Kids. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop the reading there. So pretty much one could interpret this if you have on the feminist lens and the liberal lens. You can interpret this and say, wow, this is great what they're doing in Flint, Michigan. They're really helping out mothers. Now, I need more information, right? It doesn't tell me if it is single mothers or if it is mothers in a relationship. I would make an assertion and say that it is single mothers because it's to help women out of poverty and give women some handouts when they're pregnant and stuff. So I would assume that the women that qualify for these type of grants and this type of aid are women that are single mothers and women that are, below a poverty line. I'm essentially thinking that it's a way where you have to, just like if you're trying to qualify for food stamps or something like that, you have to show proof that you're under a certain wage and then you can qualify for this. It doesn't give me this information here, but I would assume that's the case because if they just gave it to all pregnant women, well, some pregnant women are not even in poverty. Like, you know what I mean? So since it's for, to prevent babies from being born into poverty, then it would be for mothers that qualify for, they're like making minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, which I do think it is, then essentially what they're doing is they're being reactive, right? This is a reactionary standpoint. So they're not being proactive. And the reactionary standpoint, out of the feminist lens could be great is because, let women choose to do what they want. And then if they make a bad choice, let's go ahead and save them from their choices. Let women do what they want and be free. But then let's create these programs to save women from their poor choices. So this is a reactionary standpoint. This is not putting anything in place, any aid in place to be proactive. Now, all this is doing, if you are incentivizing women at the end, if they already made many fatal mistakes, right? One, they're poor. Two, you chose a man to have a baby with and you're a single mom and it's no genuine relationship. There's no marriage. There's no another income coming in from your husband or the man that you committed to in a relationship that's going to help you with this baby, right? So there's all of these different measures that can be put in place to prevent this so we don't even have to, give aid to these women. Like, think about it. If you are going to incentivize women after they made the poor choices, what this is going to do is incentivize them to keep on making the bad choices. That's what that's going to do because they know that they can be saved. They can avoid accountability, So why not come from a proactive standpoint? Why not incentivize the pregnant women to stay with the baby father, right? Let's take it a step further. Why not incentivize the man and a woman, a relationship, because it takes two to make a baby? Why not incentivize that couple to get married? Why not incentivize that couple out of X amount of years of, being married, then give them cash? Now think about it. We already have systems in place that's like this. This would be like, I guess, like a state grant or a non-government organization aiding these pregnant women. But essentially, we have this already in our education system. Now, think about if we had, just like for our education system, you can get many grants. You can get a grant for being left-handed. You can get a grant for being a minority. You can get a grant for getting good grades in your school and hitting honor roll and having a good SAT score. So you can get many different grants based off how you behave when it comes to the educational system. I'm saying that just like we have an educational system, we should have the institution for marriage should incentivize people to get married and to have good relationships and to build with one another. And we can do this just like how they give grants. So, they're giving grants to these single mothers that's getting knocked up and that's poor. Well, why don't we just give grants to women and men when they get married? You get a $1,500 grant for getting married, newlywed. Okay, wow, this will incentivize the marriage, or however it may be. And then you get, $500 a month as you stay married. Or once you hit 5 years of marriage, you get a $10,000 grant. Once you hit 20 years of marriage, you get a $50,000 grant. And what would this do? This would incentivize them to stay with the man, right? This would incentivize the nuclear family. It's funny how they always do these reactionary things to, give the woman a get out of jail free card. Oh, get out of jail free card, get out of jail free card. But it's never for like virtues. It's always for like just bad choices. Why do we incentivize women for bad choices instead of incentivizing women for virtues? Like if you're a virgin and you get married, $10,000 grant to your husband, of course. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. Like we have the system that we live in. They always like to incentivize things for the bad choices. You got welfare, you got Section 8, you can go in housing, you got all of these things. Like, yeah, we know people need help. We do need some systems in place for, when people do, make some bad decisions. But if we have more things in place that incentivize people for making good decisions, they would make more good decisions and they would make less bad decisions. And our tax dollars would go towards things that is beneficial, is going towards things that's good. A virtuous woman. She's a virgin. She got married young. You had 4 kids? Grant. Right? Give her a grant. She had 4. Like, it's crazy how it's just backwards. The system that we have in place just incentivizes bad behavior. But that's my thoughts on that, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on that. Send in some super chats. Let me know what you guys think about this. Am I just wrong? Or are you like, Cooley, man, you bugging, man. That's a good thing. Or do you really think that I'm onto something? So if you like that clip and you want to watch more, click right here. But if you want to watch the full episode, click right here.